entry sila into the Philippines? Were they invited, or have they had long-term engagements in the Philippines supplying their products? Also, Serum Institute of India. Kasi I think for most part, maraming Pilipino ngayon lang nadidinig ito eh.
Opo. Serum Institute of India, established na siya. It's a very well-established company. It is in fact catering or serving at least 170 countries, and that includes the Philippines. So most of our EPI vaccines are being supplied by Serum Institute of India. So it has long been supplying the government, our government, with a lot of EPI vaccines. So at least 65% of children, who would receive the vaccines, these vaccines come from Serum Institute of India. Novavax naman po is not really a new biotechnology company, but it's developing vaccines that particularly deal with respiratory infections. Okay, what do they have? The Ebola, the MERS-CoV virus, and itong lately influenza and the respiratory syncytial virus, no? And
mga ano lang, mga simpleng sakit lang, mga
simple lang.
simple lang, parang yan lang naman yung mga pumapatay ng million
Ebola,
all over the world, yung lalo na yun dyan sa mga upper respiratory na, aray ko,
actually lower respiratory, because these are the diseases that really cause severe respiratory diseases, no? Yung respiratory syncytial virus, we don't hear much about this, but this is also a very difficult virus to deal with. Influenza, of course, alam natin na just like coronavirus, they mutate a lot. In fact, mas frequent ang influenza, no? So that's why they're developing a very good vaccine as well, which will be eventually, I think it will be registered very soon, no, by Novavax.
Aba, small time na lang yung flu vaccine na sinasabi mo na yan, Doktora. Because I mean, if this company can produce a vaccine for Ebola, or medicine for Ebola, I mean, Ebola kills, period.
Exactly.
You don't even get to contact trace. Pag may tumama yan sa isang barangay, ubusan ng lahi yan.
That's very true. 80% ang mortality po ng at least, more or less, no? Although, of course, ngayon controlled naman yung Ebola, no? But meron naman, have been a lot of response, no, to the outbreak of Ebola in the African countries.
Yeah. Now, okay,
we are thankful that it's been spread.
Yeah. So now, why is it that we don't really get to hear much? Kasi parang, ewan ko, baka kasalanan namin sa media na lahat kami tumutok dyan sa tinamaan ng ewan na, ano ba yan? Yung China-made vaccine, Pero, given the history, the good standing of the Serum Institute of India and of Novavax, bakit hindi masyado silang napapag-usapan sa Pilipinas? Mga low profile ba talaga yung mga kaibigan mo na yan, Doktora?
Actually, we started talking about Serum Institute and Novavax, itong November lang, when it was very clear to us that Faberco Life Sciences will be representing Serum Institute here in the Philippines for this particular vaccine. So parang October, we started already writing letters as well to our, of course, decision makers that we have an upcoming vaccine. But I think it's also because we wanted to wait as well for the interim results of the phase 3 trial, and that would give more confidence to the people about our vaccine.
Okay.
Kasi syempre, we talked about the vaccine before, the phase 1 and the phase 2. The results were very encouraging. Maganda yung safety profile. Maganda yung not really efficacy. Maganda yung immunogenic response, even higher than convalescent serum. But of course, during the time that we did not have the phase 3 interim results, syempre, they would expect no, that we would have as extensive data as the first three vaccines
Okay.
had, no?
Doktora, hold that line first. We will go for a quick break. Pagbalik natin, medyo himay natin kasi, it might just, go zing over the head of most people. Baka
Yeah.
ma-nosebleed yung iba. We'll
Opo.
go for a quick break, and then when we return, let's continue our discussion here on Agenda.
Opo.
Okay, you're back here on Agenda, and we are speaking with Dr. Luningning Villa, Medical Director of Faberco Life Sciences. Now, Doctora, you were talking earlier about Novavax coming up with a new vaccine for COVID-19 called Covovax, manufactured by the Serum Institute of India. Now, most manufacturers or brands, etc., that we've heard in the past few months, medyo apurado, nagmamadali, and some won't even go through the process of finishing first stage trial, second stage trial, much less third stage trial. Kasi una, masalimuot, it's a lot of work, and then you need a lot of people, and you need a lot of confirmation of those. But it seems that in your case with SII and Novavax, you are taking your time and waiting until all the documents, all the testings are done, and then you're coming in.
Yeah. Uh, uh, ang Novavax finished the interim results of the phase 3 trial, no? And we released the results, but it doesn't mean that the phase 3 has ended. It still is ongoing until January of 2022. And the US trial, the phase 3 is still ongoing, and it will finish as well next year. However, just like the other vaccines, it's really like that, no, that the phase 3 trial will still be continuing. However, the interim results could be accepted as well, no, for an emergency use authorization for as long as your data, you have a acceptable number of clinical trial participants. And with 15,000 clinical trial participants in UK, we were able to generate very good data, no, and efficacy. And what is more also important is that the vaccine of Novavax is the first vaccine to have very good data on efficacy against the variants.
Okay. Kasi yung mga established brands or those na medyo sumikat na, well-known at the moment, one of them has been challenged by this variant, the
Because
UK
nauna po
variant.
sila. They were
Ah,
a bit ahead of the trial. And during the time that the trial of Novavax vaccine was done, that was the time as well that there was a surge of or emergence of the variants now in UK.
mm, mm,
In fact, 50% of those who were found to be COVID, who were positive, both in the vaccinated and the unvaccinated, were UK variants. That's
mm.
very interesting. And in South Africa, 90%, 92% of those found, both in the vaccinated and unvaccinated, were South Africa variants. No? So
Mhm.
that made, Novavax to generate very good, clear, evidence-based, information on the efficacy of the vaccine.
Kumbaga, kung saan nagputukan, doon kayo nagtatrial and lumabas sa resulta na kayang-kaya namin itong mga pinagsasasabi niyong variant. Okay, pasensya ka na, doktora, no? Kasi malawak ang reach ng Signal TV. So I want people to understand that hindi po basta-basta yung pagtetest, testings
Tama.
were done. Because some of the companies, especially the China one, were testing in far-flung places kung saan hindi masyadong maigpit. I mean, you did a test in the UK, you did a test in
Okay.
America.
Yeah, and even India as well. There's an ongoing test
Eh,
to represent the Asian.
Yeah, and those areas are very tough, very
Asian.
stringent on how tests are done and how data is reported. So hindi basta-basta yung ginagawa ninyong. Now, laging issue, the constant issue is the efficacy or ewan ko ba na yung 89, yung iba 95, yung iba 51, etc. Ito bang ito bang sa inyong sa Covovax ano bang labanan dito?
Yeah, unang-una kasi the predominant virus, it's still the wild type, no?
Mm.
Kung baga yung original na SARS-CoV-2 pa rin ang predominant here in the Philippines, no?
Mm.
So doon sa pag-aaral, 95.6% ang kanyang efficacy, no, ng Covovax vaccine of Novavax against the original SARS-CoV virus
Mm.
strains.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, 95.6%. Nung,
Mm.
nung tiningnan sa United Kingdom strains, yung UK strains, no, yung, or UK variants, UK
Mm.
variants, 86% po ang kanyang efficacy. So it's still high. So
Mm.
kaya nagkaroon, kung makikita niyo po sa mga news, 89.3% ang efficacy kasi yun po yung overall, both for
Mm.
the UK and the original SARS-CoV-2.
Kumbaga pinaghahalo yung dalawang total,
Pinagalo po, oo.
dinidivide by 2, ito yung lumalabas.
Actually, may computations talaga yan. It's not,
Okay.
yeah, yung
Pas, pas,
No,
pasensya ka
okay
na
lang. Opo,
kasi
opo.
ako take 7 sa Math 11. Mahina tayo dyan.
Okay lang po yan, okay lang. Oo. Pero yeah, parang ganun. Pinagalo mo yung lahat ng number and then how efficacious. No? So may mga computations po yan.
Okay, now, ito ang tanong. I think the big, in fact, it's in the papers right now. Government saying limited global supply hampering vaccines deal. Kasi ang sabi nila, everyone is fighting over the supply. Some governments are exerting their authority over their, even on their international companies to prioritize the local,
Yeah.
etc. And then, medyo ninervyos nga ako kanina kasi I don't know where it's coming from, but apparently the vaccine czar, Secretary Galvez, is quoted as saying that there is no definitive delivery date. Bagamat may mga daldalero, sabi ng sabi, first quarter, second quarter, o next month na, ito, sinabi nung vaccine SAR, there is no definitive delivery dates. Now, as far as SII, Novavax is concerned, assuming you get all your trials done, you get clearance from FDA, any safe forecast? Forecast na lang kasi
Yes,
ang hirap eh.
kasi po ang Serum Institute would not commit to anything that when it's not able to deliver. So with the term sheet, with the government, talking with Serum Institute, the government, of course, through the vaccine czar, Secretary Galvez, Serum Institute is committed to deliver the vaccine by the third quarter of 2021.
Yun eh, hindi nag-estimate yun ha. Kumbaga yun, pwede mo nang itaya yung house and lot na by third quarter 2021. So that will be July, August, September. Mga ganong petsa.
Yes, that's true. And we are hoping kasi we're working already on the EUA. We've started talking with the FDA, consult them, and also with the Health Technology Assessment Committee. They are guiding us as well on how to proceed. So if we will be able to get the emergency use authorization from UK, or even from Canada, that would really help facilitate in the issuance of the EUA by the Philippine FDA. So we're hoping na early part of the third quarter, Novavax vaccine or the Covovax will be available.
Okay, because Faberco Life Sciences is the official representative. Pasensya ka na, no? Parang kayo yung ahente ng SII sa Pilipinas, okay? Agent kayo, hindi kayo necessarily distributor. Kasi may mga, I know of some pharma companies in the Philippines, big pharma companies, they're not necessarily the ones who are distributing and delivering their medicines all over the Philippines. They do it through a big company, logistics company like Zwilling, for instance. No? Now, ano yung nabasa ko na may tie-up kayo or you have an agreement with Unilab, which is also the biggest, or at least one of the biggest local pharmaceutical company.
Okay. Ang relationship is still between Faberco and Serum Institute in terms of bringing in the product, the vaccine, to the Philippines. And then Faberco engaged a Unilab or assigned Unilab to manage the private sector, particularly the companies, but based on the guidelines or the policy of the national government. So at the same time, Unilab will also be our logistics partner. In as far as the national government and the local government units, it will be Faberco who will be engaging with both the national and the local government.
That is based on the presumption that you will be allowed to engage or to sell those vaccines to private companies and LGUs. Kasi nagkakainitan na ngayon eh. May mga kumukontra. Although there has been a move by Secretary Joey Concepcion, ginagawa ko na secretary, by Joey Concepcion, yung private sector initiative. Parang pinayagan na rin ng government eh. So, yung Unilab, they can sell or offer your vaccines only to private companies and
only for the employees. They are called economic frontliners. Hindi siya pwedeng ibenta outside of the companies because we don't have yet the marketing authorization. So still, Unilab would still follow the national guidelines, no, on is as far as the vaccine distribution to the private companies. Pero limited lang po siya talaga as far as I understand that it's not going to be sold outside or beyond the employees of the companies.
Okay, but final question ko na siguro, Doktora, the concern of some people that once it is passed on to private distribution chains, there is a risk that vaccine prices will go sky high. Katulad nung nangyari dyan sa tinamaan ng ewan na RT-PCR yan. Kasi pag inanalyze ko yung presyo, baka mga 1,000 to 1.5 mataas na, pero umabot ng 6.5 dahil pinayagan na walang restraint. Are you worried? Are you not worried about that? The risk of, a double pricing, one is government and one is private sector?
There will be a difference really in as far as the private, no, because they still have may mga additional kasi nun, like for example, how will the vaccine be administered? Will it be by the doctor, for example, of Unilab or through the hospital, or how will the vaccine be delivered? Will it only
Okay.
be to directly to the company? So magkakaroon po siya ng difference. But what I understand is there is a base price. Okay, that will not be very far from the national government pricing. Also, as far as Faberco, our product is concerned, no, as far as Serum Institute, I'll just be talking about Covovax. Hindi rin po masyadong magkakalayo ang presyo ng national government at local government units.
Okay, pahabol lang, no, last question. Sorry, Gab. Sorry, Mr. and Dr. Dans. Yung price nitong Covovax, kasi merong mga pricing sa Bangkok na lumabas, tumatakbo $20 per shot, $25. Itong Novavax, magkano abutin?
Covovax of Novavax, sa Unilab, they made the announcement that it's not going to be less than 1,000 pesos. And for the national government, we offered it kasi bulk naman siya 30 million doses. So of course, it's a bit lower.
Okay.
Yeah, hindi po siya mataas.
Okay, thank you very much, Doktora Luningning Villa. You answered all our questions and sana po dumating na at sana tunay na delivery date, hindi drawing katulad nung iba. Maraming salamat, ma'am.
When we commit, talagang ano po yun, matutuloy po yun.
Okay, thank you very much.
Good morning.
That's Doktora Luningning Villa of the Faberco Life Sciences. Now, let's move on to our next guest. Ito naman po, on the reverse side, we have with us Dr. Antonio Dans and Dr. Leonila Dans, convenors, Healthcare Professionals Alliance Against COVID-19. Good morning po. Kamusta na?
Morning. Good morning. Good morning to the listeners.
Okay.
Safe.
Nadinig naman niyo yung interview namin. You heard all the details, and of course, it's something to look forward to, except on the last part when we started talking about private sector and LGUs. From what I understand, Dr. Leonila and Dr. Antonio, Antonio Dans. Hirap nito, mag-asawa kayo. Sabay.
Tony and Inday na lang.
Okay. Doc Tony, Doc Inday. Okay. From what I understand, you are against LGUs, mayors, governors being allowed to buy vaccines for their constituents. One. Number two, I also need to ask you, are you also against private companies from buying vaccines for their employees? The show is yours.
Oh, well, first, just a refinement of what you said, Cito. We're not against them buying it. We're against them procuring it directly from the manufacturers. So there's a difference because under the proposed tripartite agreements, they're allowed to purchase it through the national government. So what we're against is direct procurement or direct purchase, which means kanya-kanya ng bili. So yeah, we understand the spirit of the law is to shorten the procurement process. And we have, kasi it's a national emergency, and we're one with the mayors and governors and the private corporations there. But laws have unintended consequences. So may unintended consequences yung direct procurement or direct purchase, and that's why the Healthcare Professional Alliance voiced out a strong objection against SB 2042, yung law proposing direct purchase from manufacturers.
Okay, now what is the unintended consequence or fear that you are referring to?
Yeah, well, tatlo yun.
Oo, tatlo yun, no? Yung first na magiging problem dun sa initial format nung bill is that it will actually bypass yung tinatawag natin ngayon na unit. It's called Health Technology Assessment Council that looks closely sa lahat ng bibili ng government so that they will make sure na, kasi ang FDA natin, safety and efficacy lang yan. So pwede nilang i-approve lahat halos ng drugs, no? Pero here we have an emergency use authorization pa lang, hindi pa yan yung tinatawag nating certificate of product registration. So hindi pa sila makaka-market kung wala ka pa ng CPR. So kung EUA, emergency use, so we want to be sure na maganda yan. So in-approve yung EUA ng FDA, you need another level. Yun yung HTAP assessment.
Yeah, kasi yung Cito, yung national government is mandated by law to get an approval from the Health Technology Council before they can procure a drug. If you go local, nawawala yung requirement na yon. So that's an unintended consequence. Yung health technology assessment is highly specialized. Ano yan? Iilang Pilipino ang kayang gumawa niyan eh. Hindi lang yan efficacy and safety. That's also applicability to Filipinos, feasibility, budget impact.
Sulit ba yung vaccine?
Cost effectiveness, sulit ba? Napaka-technical niya.
Okay.
And so mababypass yun. That's one thing. That's one unintended consequence.
But isn't that the point behind all of this? And I'm not I am not belittling your concern, ano? Kasi alam ko sinusunod nyo yung proseso, ano yung sistema, because it's important that we are assured that everything that lands in the Philippines is safe and is not going to kill Filipinos. But in this case, the EUA became the vehicle to shortcut everything kasi nga Filipinos are already dying because of the vaccine. So parang sinabi lang naman ng gobyerno, we understand that, pero saka na yung health technology certificate na yan kasi meron tayong problema.
Hindi naman sila yung cause ng delay, Tito. In fact, the Health Technology Council is already working day and night. Di ba?
Hindi na nga natutulog eh.
Even before the applications are submitted, they've already nearly completed their assessment. So they do not add to the duration or to the delay in access. They just make it more credible. Kasi alam nyo, sila lang mandated by law na to address conflict of interest. Lahat sila, they will declare, I never lectured for Pfizer or Astra. I never did studies for them. I have no political ambitions. So parang wala silang political interest. It safeguards trust in vaccine when you have such a group
But can't you
recommending.
Can't you just have a system where good, do what you need to do. The government and the LGUs will do what they need to do. And if parang, kumbaga, ewan ko kung nanonood kayo ng American football o kaya basketball, pag, foul, stop the ball game, technical, yellow flag or something kasi parang tuloy-tuloy na lang muna itong mga procurements, etc. And at the same time, kung may mahanap yung HTC. And you're correct, no, ladies and gentlemen, what our doctors are saying. Alam ko rin po naman, dahil may mga insider din ako, yung talaga nasa FDA, yung mga nag-check na yan, yung mga quality na yan. Ako po, yung term na burning the midnight candle, wala na, hindi na nauso yun. So lumampas na ng midnight, yung trabaho ng mga nasa gobyerno. But can't we do that, Doc Tony, Doc Nila, na tuloy-tuloy, let the local governments do what they need to do, kasi you have two problems immediate accessibility and also confidence. Kasi ang problema natin dito, there is absence of confidence on the preferred brand of government.
Yes.
And the politicians naman, you have to understand their perspective. If I go against the confidence of my constituents, I might be voted for out of office for lack of confidence.
Ang dami kasing misconceptions dahil ang daming press release na nakakalito talaga. Kahit kami nga, bigla na lang sa Jericho, ba't may ganyan na uli? So, unang-una, this is a global shortage of vaccines, di ba? Kahit na nga ang US, kulang pa rin sila ng bakuna. So, ang importante rito, nakatutok tayong lahat. So, ang akala nung iba, nadidelay lang dahil sa gobyerno natin yung pagdating ng vaccine. Kasi nababasa na natin, nabakunahan na actually 200 million na yung nabakunahan, and 75% are in the rich countries. No? So, bakit wala pa yung Pilipinas? So, yun yung parang human nature, bakit wala pa tayo, bakit sila meron na? Pero hindi yan dahil nadidelay ng FDA nor ng HTAC. So, akala kasi natin, ang gobyerno natin ang may kasalanan. Hindi laging ganon. In this case, nag-iintay tayo kung alin yung mga magiging available. Kaya nakikita mo si Secretary Galvez, nakatutok talaga sila dyan, no? Nakabantay sila. So yung FDA, as soon as nilagay nila yan sa, submit na sila ng requirements, inassess na nila yan. So ang nakapag-submit pa lamang yung ating, I think dalawa pa lang, Pfizer and AstraZeneca. May mga iba pang nag-submit na pero
they're being processed.
May two other na nakakumpleto pa lang, yung kaninang pinag-usapan nyo, yung phase 3 interim pa lang, interim result, 2 buwan pa lang na ongoing yung study nila. So 4 pa lang talaga yung merong phase 3 interim result. So yung sinasabi kanina na iniintay pa nila yung phase 3 interim, hindi pa nila yan napapublish.
So
Kaya
yun yung delay.
So yun yung delay, hindi yung government natin.
At saka yung hesitance nila to distribute outside of the manufacturing country, that's causing the delay. It's not the bureaucracy.
But
Pero
you know,
procurement law, okay lang yun. Delay talaga yun. We agree with that part of the law. It should be addressed.
we'll go for a quick break. Doc Tony, Doc Inday, and then when we come back, ituloy natin yung hesitation or yung problema ninyo regarding local purchase. We'll be right back. Just a very quick reminder. We'll be right back here on Agenda. Okay, you're back here on Agenda. I'm Cito Beltran, and joining us once again are the MD couple, Doctors Tony and Inday Dans. Welcome back, the doctors. Okay, balikan po natin yung sinasabi natin. You are afraid that if the LGUs procure vaccines directly, mababypass yung health technology certificate process ensuring good quality. Okay, ano ang suggestion ninyo?
Well, so actually, yun yung madaling problem, Sito. They can just add a provision na provided, kasi may provision na doon sa law na pwedeng bumili ang local government provided it's approved by FDA. Dadagdagan lang nila and recommended by the Health Technology Council. So that should solve it. So it's not a big change, and parang I think the senators see the importance of that naman. The Health Technology Council protects the patients, protects the patient's trust. It also protects the policymakers and the distributors, kasi now you have an official recommendation by an independent scientific body. So yung bigger problem, yung pangalawa, Sito, yung
Which is?
yung distribution, masisira yung prioritization. Kasi again, government, national government, may mandate yan na makatarungan yung pag-distribute doon sa nangangailangan, hindi doon sa may kaya o may kapangyarihan. No? Pagka nagkaroon na ng kanya-kanya yan sa LGU at corporations ang bili, magiging kanya-kanya na. No? Alam mo, as Inday said kanina, 200 million people have been vaccinated around the world. 75% galing sa 10 rich countries. Meanwhile, 130 poor countries have not vaccinated even one individual. Pinalalala lang natin yung injustice na yan by doing the same in the country. Yung mga rich LGU makakabili, yung mga mahihirap, hindi. No? Ngayon, sabi nung iba, meron din namang mahirap sa Makati. Totoo naman yan. Pero paano yung mga mahihirap sa ibang lugar na hindi nakabili ng bakuna? So, pag ganyan, isang unintended effect yan. Alam namin, hindi yan yung layunin ng batas. Pero unintended effect yan na magkakaroon ng agawan. Alam mo, maglo-loss of trust na yan. Isipin ng mga tao, gawan na eh. Itong binibigay nila sa amin, yan yung mura, yan yung hindi masyadong mabisa, yan yung hindi safe. Nag-agawan na dun sa magandang vaccine. So, that will further lead to a deterioration in vaccine trust.
Have you come up with a solution or resolution to that potential disaster? I mean, I agree. That's a disaster. Kasi yung kanya-kanya, lagi walang nananalo dyan, yung may kaya lang at yung may pera lang.
Oo. Meron naman, nakausap na namin yung principal author, si Senator Zubiri. Nakipag-usapan kami indirectly during an interview with the ULAP head, Governor Dax Cua, and FDA and the Secretary of Health. They all agree the solution to this is wag direct ang purchase from the manufacturer. It will always be through national government para hindi laktawan yung HTAC at hindi laktawan yung prioritization scheme ng gobyerno.
Okay, quick question ko na lang, no? Kasi, pero okay, so they buy from the national government. Does the national government play order taker? Kasi yung issue pa rin nung, ayaw namin nung Sinovac, gusto namin Pfizer, AstraZeneca, or itong Covovax, paano yun? I agree with you, no? Buy from the government. That's fine. Pero, does the government dictate? Kasi yung DILG sabi, 50% yung made in China, 50%, bahala kayo kung anong gusto ninyo.
So,
yung isa kasi, yung made in China na yan, let me just clarify that kasi parang may impression tayo na the government wants this made in China. Officially, dalawa pa lang yung ina-approve ng ating government, di ba? Yun yung Pfizer and AstraZeneca. Kasi sila pa lang yung FDA given the EUA. Kami rin, hindi pa kami nag-aano ng judgment na, oh, maganda yung China, pangit yung China. Kasi iniintay natin yung papers nila. Kasi we're scientists. We make sure publish paper to. Hindi ito yung press release na ito yung effective nila. Alam niyo naman, naglastiko nga yung Pfizer, yung Astra, marami silang mali. Importante yung published paper. At yun yung magiging basihan mo kung okay yan or hindi. So, pag dumaan yan sa amin, pag dumaan ng FDA na approve, assess ng HTAC at sinabi nila okay din, kahit ano pa yung vaccine na yan, tatanggapin dapat nating lahat.
Basta
basta
ng
approve nila. So, ibig sabihin yan, kung ano man yung vaccine na matapat, kasi ano yan by allotment, by tranches, hindi naman bibigyan tayo ng 70 million right away ng isang bakuna. Hindi, depende yan sa availability globally. Okay, so kung ano yung dumating sa atin, yun yung ma-distribute nila according to prioritization.
Basta
diba?
Licensed by HTAC or EUA, by FDA, and recommended by HTAC. Ang sinasabi namin lagi sa aming public fora, the best vaccine is the one in your arm. Kasi kung hindi tayo kasi ano yan that's added protection to all that we are doing.
Kasi kahit na bakunahan, dapat remind natin, kahit bakunahan, kailangan pa rin natin mag-mask, mag-distancing. Lahat na yon kailangan
Tuloy-tuloy
pa rin
pa rin.
natin gawin. Kasi 2 buwan pa lang tinitingnan, pag-aaral nitong mga bakuna na to usually 1 to 2 years yan. So, may emergency use, kaya lang natin binibigay. So, tuloy-tuloy pa rin tayo ng mga protection.
Okay. Any other concerns? Kasi ako parang listening to you guys, I'm actually I'm reminded of a big concern, which is public acceptance of vaccination. Ako, ilang ulit ko nang sinasabi sa programa ko, nabakunahan na po kami for flu, nabakunahan na for pneumonia, iniintay ko na lang yung for COVID, wag lang sa wet po, kasi ayoko nun, hindi ako makakaupo ng isang araw. Pero, is there any concern about public acceptance for vaccination regardless of the brand? Kasi parang lumalabas 20 to 25% pa rin ayaw.
Kaya ang panindigan ng Healthcare Professional Alliance, Cito, we are 160 organizations, doctors, nurses, midwives, pharmacists, dentists, medtech, etc., nutritionists. Ang panindigan namin, we will watch the process. Kasi nga maraming vaccine hesitant. Yung batas at yung proseso, yan ang poprotekta sa atin. So, pinag-usapan na natin yung FDA. Kailangan siguraduhin natin, pati yung HTAC, Health Technology Council, siguraduhin natin na hindi yan mapasukan ng politika at saka commercial interest.
Hindi sila ma-pressure sa kanilang decision.
Pangatlo, yung distribution, naitag. Kailangan kilala ng population to, ng mga tao. The National Immunization Technical Advisory Group. Sila ang gumagawa ng prioritization scheme. So, independent body rin ito, no? They will say, ito ang top priority, ito yung second, ito yung
science-based, evidence-based yan.
Dito papasok ang LGU, dito pwede nang pumasok ang corporation. We have to follow what they recommend. At babantayan namin yan. And if something is wrong, magsasalita kami.
Mabuti naman po yun. At sabihin nyo na rin dyan sa mga grupo na yan, magpa-interview sila, magpalathala sila. Kasi nako, alam nyo po, ang daming nag-aakala. Nilagay na namin sa Facebook at sa website namin. Wala pong silbi yun. Yung mga 500 friends nyo lang ang makakabasa noon. Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Tony and Dr. Inday. May God bless you, strengthen you, and please keep in touch para mapag-usapan natin lahat itong mga health concerns. Thank you very much.
Ayaw kami magsusumbong.
Okay.
Salamat for having us.
Thank you.
Okay. Yan po si Dr. Tony and Inday Dans from the Healthcare Professionals Alliance Against COVID-19. And I'm Cito Beltran wishing you a wonderful, blessed, godly week ahead of you. May you have an abundance of answered prayers. And if you would, please say a prayer for me, the agenda team, and especially my sister Marisa, who is having her next round of chemo tomorrow. Kailangan po niya yung lakas at suporta ng dasal. I'm Cito Beltran. God bless all of you.